Hey everybody, how you doing? Well, as I read the news, I hope it's true, it's exciting, that according to Vinny Bonsignori of the Las Vegas Review-Journal, really the Oakland Raiders, because um, the way the Raiders work, they've been paying the Review-Journal to produce some of the content regarding the Raiders, which I think is a great thing. Um, and Vinny is certainly deserving of that work. Vinny has put out a report that the 2024 Super Bowl will be in Las Vegas, which I say, awesome. But there is a note of caution. There's no NFL press release on this. Normally, the National Football League releases a press release announcement stating that City A is going to receive Super Bowl Roman numeral this, right? Or year this, right? But that's not the case here. This is entirely different. It's not even on the Raiders website. Okay, that's how different and wild this is. And normally, when you get a Super Bowl, it's the team owner hand in hand with the mayor of the region or the representatives, right? Well, I'm saying right, but I know that's the way it works. Okay, and in this instance, so with that, you would think if I visit the Raiders website right now, that would be front page news. It's not mentioned on the Raiders website. Okay? It's not on the Raiders website. So it's very unusual for a Super Bowl announcement or news that is out there, but it's not even on the team's website. Now, Vinny is saying this is from sources and this is his breaking news. He's jumping the gun. So from that perspective, okay, sure. It's maybe true, and there's no reason to believe it's not. But there's another story here that I'm really interested in, and I'm getting to, that if this is the case, has a happy ending. Okay? And the story is this. As far back as, let's see, this is 2021 going to 2022. As far back as 2018, I asked Peter O'Reilly first about the NFL draft being in Las Vegas, and I followed up with that question. The first time I asked Peter O'Reilly about that was we had the NFL Spring League meeting here in the Atlanta region in Buckhead. I say the region because I'm 50 miles outside of Atlanta. And he, to foreshorten a longer conversation, said those talks were preliminary. And then came word that this was the next year, 2019, that one snag, and this was as future Super Bowls are being named, because the refrain for a time during that process was, hey, what about Las Vegas and the Raiders? Because the normal league pattern has been to name a Super Bowl pretty much immediately when a team opens a new stadium. Heck, when a team finishes a new stadium. Because that's one major carrot in the sponsorship grabbing stick that every NFL stadium has where they can get sponsors. In other words, hey, you're getting a Super Bowl in X date when the stadium is finished. That's been the plan. That's how it has rolled. The only difference in that schedule was prior to the Las Vegas case and the Raiders case was the Cowboys in Arlington. They didn't really get it right off the bat, okay? But they did get it in 2000, hosted in 2011. But I digress. My point is, in the Las Vegas case, one big snag was hotels saying, and convention facilities like Sands Expo saying, you know what, we're really booked solid during that time period. We don't know if we can accommodate you. The NFL had never heard that before, because And I was talking about this, my mom here, because I'm keeping her company, and she was just incredulous. She says, "Well, every other city has hotels. How come? Of course, it's in Las Vegas. They have a lot of them." I said, "Mom, that the difference is that it's harder to find." At that time, it was harder to find hotel and convention space that wasn't booked. I mean, the occupancy rates in Las Vegas have been notoriously high. And I say notoriously in italics because those high occupancy rates drive those high room rates and basically get people to, just by dint of demand, right, pay those large resort fees, right? But two things happened. First of all, when the NFL went to a 17-game season, that pushed the Super Bowl that was going to be in Las Vegas in 2024 out of the way. So you had an open date. But look, normally, if Las Vegas were already ready to host it, guess what? They would have been slotted in already. Moreover, I argue that Las Vegas would have been slotted in already a couple of years before, but for the hotel problem, okay? So now with Vinny's announcement, it sounds to me as the only person in NFL history to have formed a bid to host the Super Bowl in Oakland. We lost to Jacksonville in 2000 for the 2005 game, that finally the hotel problem was solved. Thank goodness for the pandemic. Why? Because the pandemic so reduced hotel demand and caused the hospitality industry to lose money so much that it quite literally opened up the need for the Super Bowl and opened up hoteliers to say, okay, we have conventions that aren't coming back. We don't know if they're coming back in the future. So we can make some room for a Super Bowl. Of course we can. And I believe that's what happened. The way Vinny worded his report, it sounded like there was a bid process. The NFL eliminated bid processes approximately 4 years ago now. Bid process is where a city like, for example, Oakland says publicly, we want to host the Super Bowl. And we put together a bid package and we give a presentation to the Super Bowl Policy Committee and we get sort of ran up the ladder, if you will, and evaluated. But it's a true competition. In other words, there's no date that's set for us in the back where we're saying, okay, this date's slotted for you, and we're going to figure out, how to work with you. But as I was told by Peter O'Reilly, the way things changed was you have a designation. Apparently, owners didn't like the bid process, and for reasons that I'll go into from my experience in conversations with owners and bid managers, aside from having been one myself. But Peter's giving me the impression that, hey, if you're supposed to get Super Bowl for year X, we're going to work with you on the logistics and the hotels and everything and get you ready for that date. Like Atlanta, for example, okay? Or, not Atlanta, but I'm trying to think of the other city that was named. New Orleans is the original one. New Orleans didn't have to bid. They were the designate. And that was the future. That's the future, okay? So something happened on the way to the bank. And I'd love to know how it was. Was it a case of Mark Davis and Las Vegas people saying, hey, you know what? We really, 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 really need your help, and we're going to pull out all stops to make this happen? Or the NFL saying, hey, you know what? This date's open. We're going to work with you to sort out that little problem. Because I always believe that one way around the problem that the NFL should have done and still can do is to build a 3,000 to 6,000 room hotel so that the NFL has control of those room blocks for the Super Bowl. They don't have to worry about what some other hotel or casino in the market is going to do. That's theirs to control. makes it easier because the NFL needs 17,500 top quality hotel rooms within an hour's drive of the stadium. That has been the standard specific statistic, okay? And I don't imagine that's changed because they decided to go in-house. And then I should say it's 24,500 hotel rooms in an hour's drive of the stadium. But of those 24,500 hotel rooms, 17,500 are designated for members of the NFL family, press, others, media people. Media alone takes up 1,800 room blocks. All right, at least they did in the past. Now, with the downsizing of traditional media, I don't know. But on the other hand, given the fact that media has, in a sense, altered and there's more different types of media covering the Super Bowl, it could be the reverse. My point is, the NFL made sure those room blocks are available for its family. That includes the teams, because each team gets a set of Super Bowl tickets, controlled by the host city team. In this case, that's the Las Vegas Raiders. All right? So that's how it works. And so this story that Vinny put out, for me, means that there were some concessions made by the hotel industry that they would not have made in a pre-pandemic situation, okay? And that's great for the National Football League. It's actually great for Las Vegas, which really, I think, finally realizes as a whole the need for a Super Bowl. It's great for America to have the Super Bowl in Las Vegas. It's going to be quite a show, I think. And I think it'll go very, very well. I know there are people who have fears regarding what happened at the 2007 NBA All-Star Game, but look, I mean, in the total scheme of things, sure, it was rowdy, sure, it was culturally whatever, but I don't recall things happening so very bad that they couldn't have went back if they wanted to. I don't anticipate that happening. At least I hope not. Anyway, I await further news, and I'll report it right here as usual. Subscribe to Zenny62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnow.com. I'll see you later.